Hello, this is John Didier from the Center of Excellence for Unimobility. The subject of the day is CoreFlex policy. We will cover the main points to be taken into account when implementing a CoreFlex policy. Okay, the plan of the presentation is as follows. We will first define what is a CoreFlex policy. We will suggest a process to design a CoreFlex policy. We will then discuss what to include in Core versus Flex. We'll also discuss service providers, offer of Flex benefits, and finish with the communication of the policy. In a core flex policy, the benefits are divided into two types: core or must-have benefits and optional benefits. The core elements can be the same for all assignees, or actually you can have different level of core depending on, let's say, the grading of the employee. Obviously, senior executive may need more core elements than young graduate. The optional elements are usually decided by the manager, or you can have a mixed between the manager or the assignee, or sometimes only by the assignee. In terms of process to design a policy, we suggest 4 steps approach. First, audit. You need to know your expatriates, therefore you need first to audit all policies in place and be aware of the migration flows between home and host countries. 2, consult. You need to consult all stakeholders, HR departments, talent complement, the payroll teams, the business units, in order to understand which benefits must be core and which one may be optional. Manage. Think about administration. Who will uphold the flex benefits? Manage the service providers. It is always more complex than you think. And last one, and also no way to escape it, exception. There is no global mobility policy without exception. And core flex policy won't escape the rule. So you need to decide who will actually authorize the exception. So, core versus flex. Well, first of all, it's important to track the exception request to see if they are often required by the manager or by the assignee. Don't forget that even a core flex policy needs to adapt itself. Okay, once you have actually identified the population, the flow, and your objective, that's where you're going to start the tough work of deciding which is going to be core versus flex. As an introduction, my experience is that there are more core benefits than you think. Will come to mind very quickly, tax, immigration, expense reimbursement, shipment of goods. But you probably will need to ask yourself very quickly, do I need to have a minimum of intercultural training, spousal assistance, home finding support? So watch out that the core flex policy actually will probably have more core than you think at the beginning. I've added a table which illustrates the allocation between core and flex. So here I propose to include in core the expense reimbursement, the immigration, tax, shipment of goods, language training, intercultural training. And I've put into flex the spousal assistance, the home leave, home finding support, temporary living. However, I've actually said, well, maybe for executives, we need to include the home finding support and the temporary living. We can discuss also the spousal assistance, which is usually a tough one. So, have you seen from the proposed table, the core benefits may be linked to grading. Obviously, a young graduate may not need to have the same core benefits as a senior executive. However, watch out not to create too much complexity. If your core benefits actually varies based on 6 or 7 gradings, there's no point to have a core flex benefits. Well, you also need to spend some time thinking about the service providers. You basically have a few options. You can actually choose the service provider for each item, or you could actually impose a service provider for a few items, like let's say tax. You want the same global tax provider, or you may actually implement choice. Let's say, well, for agricultural training, you have a choice between the following 2 or 3 providers. Now that we have decided which benefits are core and which benefits are flex, we need to decide how to offer the flex benefits. There are basically 3 possible solutions. 1, a numerical amount. 2, value, either it's in euros, dollar, or British pound amount, or a point system mechanism. Under the numerical amount, the assignee gets a fixed number of core flex benefits, let's say 2 or 3, based upon his or her grading. He then can choose among the multiple flex benefits, irrespective of the cost. Under the value system, the assignee gets a budget, usually based upon grading, and he can spend the relevant budget among the multiple flex benefits. So in practice, if the assignees purchase lower cost flex benefits, the number of flex benefits will automatically increase. The last solution is what we call a point system, where the company has assigned a number of points to each benefits. Actually, it varies from the value system, since the point associated to each benefit is not only related to its cost. I'll give you an example. If the company has not included spousal assistance under the core benefits, but wishes to push for it, and we know that the inability to adapt to the new environment for the spouse is usually the largest cause of failure. The number of points that we can assign to the spousal assistance could be quite low, thereby making these flex benefits a good value in terms of spending points. Communication has many HR benefits. The policy should be easy to follow, clearly communicated, including roles and responsibilities. Who will manage the exceptions, for example? As you may actually have understood now, it is quite easy to build a very complex core flex policy where the assignees will be lost. So try to keep it as simple as possible. Thank you for your attention, and please do check out other videos done by Unimobility.